Why I really enjoyed to be here to see what the progress in Spain with respect to Passivhaus is going on. And I have seen a lot of interesting example projects and met a lot of people who are really engaged in bringing energy efficiency to Spain. And also development of components is very well on the way. So congratulations, you have done a great job. Well, I came along with PEP members already at the International Passivhaus conferences where they gave presentations about their experience of building really good energy efficient buildings in Spain. And I was already impressed then from the good results you have had here. And well, what could you improve? Yeah, you can always improve a lot of things. In the discussion now, there came up the issue that it might be interesting to have Passivhaus certifiers also in Spain, and that might be, of course, a good idea. Yeah, to look for making that know-how and making this service also available directly here in Spain. Passivhaus is not about heating. Passivhaus is about how you can have a comfortable indoor climate in a building without using a lot of energy. And that can be done also in cooling climates. And this is especially been done now in tropical climates where it's much hotter and much more humid than in southern Spain. So definitely this is working, and Passivhaus has already solutions also for these hotter and more humid climates. One of the most important function of a dwelling, of an office, of any room where people want to stay is that it should provide a really good indoor comfort. So this is what we've normally been done in the past with a lot of active technology like heating systems, cooling systems. Now with the Passivhaus we try to do as much as reasonable for this service with the improved building envelope. So we do better insulation, choose windows which are properly shaded, which have good insulation properties. We use heat recovery from the exhaust air. So in this way we can reduce the amount of heating and cooling to an extent where this becomes a very simple task. So the whole technology will be simpler, will be easier to use, will be less expensive, and also of course the consumption will be much lower. It's a factor 3 or 4 what you save in the consumption of heating and cooling. Actually, it was not me who had that idea. It was my friend and colleague, Professor Bo Adamson from University of Lund. And when he came up with that idea, I first thought, now he's gone completely crazy. So, and then we sat together and did some development and made some theoretical analysis and say, yes, it may be possible. So we were able to build a first demonstration building, and it turned out to be working. This is a development which might come to the right time to make it possible to keep our quality of life, to keep the comfort in the buildings by at the same time reducing the amount of energy we need for that. So that makes possible to make that sustainable, to make the whole process sustainable. And that was, of course, intended. And it was intended by everybody who was working together with us on that field. And I want to thank all of you who have been working with us in that field. And I think it's worth to make these efforts because at the end it's not only that we reduce the CO2 emissions and we make it possible to have sustainable buildings, but we also improving the indoor climate and the health of the people in the buildings.